Hello everyone, how are you? This is Kamara. I'm really happy that you're joining me here for another pick a card. We're going to go through the process of just kind of clearing the space, clearing the decks. I have some Palo Santo resin here, a little bit more sustainable than actually trying to figure out the sustainable wood, right? So we have some Palo Santo resin that is sustainable, harvest made. So we're just going to clear off all the decks that we're using today and clearing the space a little bit. I hope that you all have been doing well. It's been a real powerful time, I've got to say. A lot happening, a lot going on. And I can feel a lot of the clearing that's happening in, through, and around me. I imagine you are probably doing the same. And just checking in with yourself, feeling grounded as we get ready to start with this spiritual transmission, y'all. And you are helping me with this transmission because you are going to participate in the picking of your group, and you're going to lend energy and insight to this reading. So we're just knowing that, inviting in all of our spirit guides who sit at the feet of the one God, Goddess Mother, who are here to provide us with clarity, a sense of love and nurturing and wisdom, that we can tap into our own inner source, not only for ourselves, but for others. And that's a beautiful gift that we all have. So let's get started. We have 4 powerful images here. And I meant to find out the name of this artist. I'll put it below in the description. So a couple of years ago, I contributed to a calendar, one of my art pieces. And since then, I've kept in touch with the creator, and she sent me another calendar for 2020, and that calendar had another artist's work in there, a lot of collage work, somewhat like similar to my own, but you know, just very expansive and unique in its own divine way. And it included these 4, actually included quite a few of these round little oracle cards. So I thought I saw these the other day kind of hanging around my desk, and I said, why don't I use these for pick a card? So we have group number 1. And group number 1, if you can see this, is Wangari Maathai. And I'm going to put information on Wangari in the profile as well, in the description as well. Wangari Maathai, for group number 1, those who want to know who she is, she was a environmental activist who lived in Kenya and who noticed around her that her community was being impacted by deforestation. I hope I'm saying that word right. I kind of spilled it out. And so she took it upon herself to start to resist against the powers who be with the cutting down of the forest. And she basically led a movement to replant a forest belt line in Kenya, in Eastern Africa. And she was a power to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with. And unfortunately, she passed away. She had an illness, and she passed away maybe in 2015, I want to say, but not that long ago. But her energy as an ancestor for us, protecting the earth, protecting our community, that's group number 1. And then we have group number 2, which is Sarah Bartlett. Now, Sarah Bartlett, some years ago at the turn of the century, was taken from her home. She was an indigenous South African from the San people, I believe. I might be getting the people wrong, so I'll leave a little bit of a link of a history of Sarah Bartlett. But she was an indigenous African woman who was taken away from her home and placed in a circus because of her body type was so different from the body type of European women. And so she had wide hips, a big behind, and big boobs. And they thought that this was a spectacle. And so they put her on display, believe it or not. And she was part of an actual lecture run where she would stand there naked and people would come and look at her like she was an object. The purpose of Sarah Bartlett being in this reading and perhaps on this card, I want to read what all the cards say behind them later, is to know that our ancient divine mothers, they did not look at like the patriarchy wants you to look at them. They were the essence of the divine feminine. And so we're doing this thing where we're lifting up Sarah Bartlett, this ancestor who had to go through so much and had to be ridiculed and objectified. We're going to lift her up, bring her back, and revere her in this reading and in our lives. So Sarah Bartlett. We have this other card, which is a collage of change. And if you look very closely, I don't know if you can see this, there's a mother holding a small girl, but the girl is not facing us. The girl is facing away from us, so we can't see her. And the mother holding this child and the word change. It's kind of shadowy, right? And I have some insights already to this card. And our last card, group number 4, will be Kali. Kali is a Hindu goddess known for her fierce heart, known for her fierce rage. And we'll read on the back what they have to say about Kali as well when we get into the reading. So here are your powerful groups. And if you haven't done a pick a card before, what you do is you kind of just focus on whatever image, maybe even whatever story has attracted you, has some curiosity for you. So we have group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you'll do is just take a moment to reflect on what group resonates with you. It may be more than one, it may be all the groups that have some bit of wisdom for you. So it's your choice when it comes to pick a card. I'm going to get started with group number 1 shortly. Hi, group number 1. How are you? So thank you for joining me here on this pick a card reading. This is my second run doing this. Believe it or not, I had some technical problems at the very end of recording the reading yesterday, and I couldn't use any of the videos. So I was like, okay, this means that there's a second run of this pick a card. So we'll see if the same messages come through, different messages come through. We're just gonna know that you still get to hear what you need to hear, right? Group number 1. So you chose the powerful Wangari Maathai, Kenyan eco-activists, scientists, botanists, all of the above, powerful femme. And you know, what I want to say about the energy that I get from Wangari Maathai is that what I get in terms of your connection with her, group number 1, is that you're for justice, but not just any kind of justice. You're here for the people. You're here for the earth. You are very righteous. And that's something that the universe has begun to take notice of or has always noticed about you, that you have a righteous kind of love. I would say that everybody who's really listening to this entire pick a card, regardless of the group, they have a fierce kind of love that keeps coming up from what I'm channeling here. And that fierce love will not allow you to see injustice being done, group number 1. I think that's what you have in common with Wangari Maathai. And so in this next coming cycle, some people will like to call it the new year. 2022, 222 comes out of that. We need to also know that whatever is coming forward for us is not only about us individually, but it's about us collectively. So group number 1, I think that you're very tapped into that right now. That any changes that you feel like you need to make in this old cycle of 2021, I think you're becoming more and more clear that that needs to happen while you're in this consciousness of 2021 and everything of the past. Like, I really feel like you are moving forward and you want to do so with ideas of like, where are you going forward next with the things that you're concerned about? Where are you moving next? And with whom are you moving next? There's something about Wangari Maathai's energy that says to me commitment. And so that's what I'm getting to for you, group number 1, is that you have a huge commitment to your purpose. You are committed, many of you are committed to the community that you serve. It could be communities, it could be a specific community, or you're committed to the cause that you are a part of. And so group number 1, I just see you as these very powerful visionaries, powerful activists. And it can be in any area of life. It doesn't have to just be conservation, but I get that some of you actually are a conservationist. Some of you are abolitionists. Some of you are, an eco-therapist or someone who's very concerned about our whole ecosystem. And when I say that, I mean the entirety of it. The earth, the beings living upon the earth, the elements, the plants. You are here for it all. Look at that. So Spirit's opening message, group number 1 for you is time out. And it came in upside down. So this is, I do reversals a little bit differently. From time to time, I just intuit how it fits with how I'm seeing the reading. And it's saying that you have so much commitment. There's been so much work that you've done, not only in 2021 and the last couple of years, but just ongoing. Some of you are very dedicated to what you're doing. And I think what Spirit is saying right here is that make sure that you're nurturing yourself. Because look at that, there's a tree here. I don't know if you all see this, but there's this beautiful tree surrounded by all of this like rainbow-like light. Some of you might be even involved with rights for the trans or LGBT community. That's kind of like coming through with that rainbow color for me. But if you look really closely, and that's, sometimes I'll say specific things for specific people, but if you look really closely, there is a being a very subtle being underneath the root of this tree in the earth with its eyes closed. It's resting, it's contemplating. And so group number one, I feel like your rest, your contemplation, the way that you spiritually will get your nourishment is by being in nature, by sitting, literally for some of you, it's sitting under a tree at night under the stars, receiving that download. For others of you, it's about an inner peace that comes through your ancestors. Trees to me also are a symbol of the ancestors. You know, family tree, ancestral tree. So that tree of life, group number one, your ancestors, this is an ancestral communication for you. The things that are coming up in 2022 for you, link your ancestors with the earth. Link your ancestors with your mission or your purpose. There's something here where you will start to collaborate even at a deeper level with your ancestors in 2022, group number one. It's very powerful. You're going to find not only strength for your continued work, but you are going to also find that they are providing you with space to rest, to rejuvenate, to reimagine your life. Very powerful, group number one. Let's see what angels and guides might be with you during this time, group number one. I see with 2022 the possibility of creating space for you, and your ancestors and your guides want you to know that space needs to happen, that you can't do it all on your own. That's what I'm hearing. That even though you work in community, a lot of burdens fall on you, a lot of responsibility falls on you. And perhaps it's time for you to understand, group number one, that you need to rely on others a little bit more. You need to, your ancestors definitely want you to rely on them, but also they want you to take care of yourself. They want you to get the rest you need. Rest is resistance. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, rest is resistance. I heard someone say on social media that our ancestors' greatest dreams is for us to rest. Yeah, especially people of color. We've worked a lot. We continue to work a lot. A lot falls on our backs as labor, especially our ancestors. They had to work from dusk till dawn, right? So let's see, who are your guides during this time as you shed what no longer serves you. Mother Mary, pursuit of the heart, conception, faith. Just want to make sure you see. So we have Mother Mary here, number 18. If you're looking at numbers, this is the timeout card is number 32. I forgot to say what was on the back of Wangari Maathai. It says the joy of giving back. Look at that. A nest of golden leaves bonded by red threads sustaining sisterhood. The gifts of Mother Earth are not to be taken for granted. Holding a tree in her hands, the joy of giving back, of feeling part of the whole. When I am a part of you, and you are a part of me. The waters of life bubble up through reciprocity. Wow, that even just connects with what we've come up with so far here in the reading. So Mother Mary is coming to you. It's, you know, group number one, it's a lot of like nurturing energy. For some of you, this energy, Mother Mary energy, is around you right now. It's an ancestor that's maybe matriarchal, and it might be from your maternal line, could be from your paternal line, but the Mother Mary is an energy of the heart, nurturing the heart, keeping the heart in flow, keeping the heart, even when the heart has been wounded, keeping the heart ready and open and healed and in constant care. And that Mother Mary energy surrounds you, group number one. Some of you may have an actual ancestor that was named Mary. I'm hearing Marilyn, maybe. Marilyn. Marianne. I'm feeling the essence of a Marilyn or Marianne. Marianne. Some of those variations, some of you have an ancestor with that name who's looking out for you, who is nurturing you now, who is protecting your heart, because there's so much that you're holding. That's what I'm hearing from this ancestor. It's like so much that you're holding, group number 1. So much on your shoulders. I keep hearing that. So much on your shoulders. They want you to know that you are supported. You're not alone. Even though sometimes they're showing me that you can feel isolated. Not so much in your community work, but just maybe isolated in your passion. Some of you feel like when you really stick your neck out, when you really speak up, it puts you on the outside. They're saying that you are supported even when you have those moments. They're by you. That's how you should know that when you feel like keeping going. Some of you go to bed at night feeling a little dejected. Some of you go to bed at night wondering if you're doing the right thing, and then you'll wake up in the morning with new energy, like ready to go. Your doubts are you've lessened your doubts, it seems like, in your sleep, and your spirits are telling me that that's their work with you. Like they're soothing you, they're comforting you, they're showing me that they're hugging you at night in your sleep, like helping you to feel better, to heal your heart. This Mother Mary energy is really helping you to keep your heart chakra open and healed, and just like they're showing me that it's okay if it's scarred, your heart. Sometimes the heart is going to be scarred, but it is you that is keeping that heart energy open and ready. Oh wow. Light beings. You do have, group number 1, you have these light beings that are showing up too. They're your cosmic ancestors. They're coming forward to say that they too are coming to you. Maybe it's even them that are coming to you even more in your dream life. They're showing you that your mission is, look at this earth here. Your mission, your particular reason for being has to do with the earth. Look at that. Wangari Maathai is I'm being told, is an energy that's a sister to you, regardless of your gender, regardless of, like, these readings are genderless. Wangari Maathai is part of your soul family, which is why you all are attracted to this, because your soul family is here for the earth, for the healing of the earth. You come from beings that committed to saving the earth, committed to helping the earth heal itself. Group number 1. Wow, you're very powerful. That's all I can say. I'm all like, woo, okay. Wow, group number 1. Very, very powerful. So we have one more oracle card we're going to look at. And I think this is your own divine inner wisdom, group number 1, that wants to say something to you. You have your cosmic ancestors. You have your earthly energy guides and ancestral guides. You have your earth sister here, Wangari Maathai. And then you have that spirit's message of opening message of just the nurturing care that you need right now. So let's see, what is your inner wisdom wanting you to know right now? Especially if you're finding it a little challenging to contact that inner wisdom. What does your inner wisdom want you to know right now? What is it that your inner wisdom is saying? Please. Ooh, let's see. Oh, wow. Look at that, group number 1. Fertility. Explore creativity. Act on inspiration. Your thoughts become form. Manifest with intention. Free your imagination. Wow. And you know what this speaks to me as, group number 1, is the energy of the Empress. Right there. And you see how there's just this like Empress-like energy often shown as being pregnant. Now, for some of you, there might be like a literally like you're getting ready in the next like 2022 to become a parent. For others of you, this is about giving birth to new ideas, new ways of being and showing up in community and taking care of the earth, group number 1. This is a powerful mission. And again, I'm really struck by the word inspiration, like act on your inspiration. Spirit is saying right now that there is some spark of an idea. You may have already had it or it's coming towards you. Don't dismiss it. Don't think that you're not the one to do it. That's what Spirit is saying, group number 1, that you have the ability to take on that idea and expand it and grow it. Some of you have had a very original idea and you need to put that idea into action. You are the one that everybody is waiting for, group number 1. So let's get into your tarot. That was your oracle. Like, this is the setup for what we've really come here to know is like, what is it that you need to let go of, group number 1? You know, because we already have the setup. We know that you are here on a divine mission. You are very powerful, no doubt. You have a spirit team that's really, it feels singularly dedicated to the earth and the beings on the earth and all that makes up the earth energy. So I wonder what it is that you need to let go of. I have insight already that I think some of it has to do around feeling like you have to take everything on your own, group number 1. But let's see what the tarot wants to expand on. Doing it all on your own, it's not possible. It's not sustainable. You're going to need to rest. You're going to need to have downtime, time to reflect, group number 1, on your greatest gifts. You have so many gifts, but this one particular inspiration, I keep coming back to that. Spirit keeps coming back to that. Yeah. You've got this 7 of Pentacles. It's in reverse. So whatever this is, don't wait on it anymore. It fits with all of the work that you've been doing. The work that you've been doing on yourself, some of you might have completed a school program and graduated. Some of you may have finished a book or a chapter of something. Some of you, whatever the work you're doing is starting to culminate with this spark of inspiration. And that spark of inspiration, group number 1, Spirit is saying, don't wait on it anymore. Like, whatever it is, it's gonna come forward and you need to act on it. We've got the 6 of Pentacles, so that was in reverse. We've got the Justice card and we've got the Knight of Swords. You know what I'm seeing here, group number 1, is that some of you are going, I think this is like your negative thoughts about your ideas. You think no one wants to support you or fund your ideas. Some of you think that you won't find funding. And what you're going to see is that not everything comes in swiftly. We have to be patient sometimes. So that patience started to happen under, you know, so what we're starting to see is that maybe people were telling you that you won't get funding for that particular idea, or that you've got to change it somehow. But with this Knight of Swords upright coming towards you, while the wait is over in this Seven of Pentacles, it's saying that someone is coming in. Word is coming in that someone is interested in your idea. And that Justice card means that they are in alignment with your idea, group number one. They want to balance the scales by giving you the funds you need, maybe the support you need, group number one. They want to balance the scales for you. Let's talk more about, show me more about this. I feel like this person is going to be made upright by your own ability to manifest, group number one. Like, you need to take that energy that was placed upon a potential funder and turn it around. Like, you really need to bring this card upright, because this person is going to send you a message and you don't want to miss it, group number one. Look at that. You do not want to miss it. Ace of Swords, you have an opportunity coming up here, but you need to change your mind. You need to start to think differently about the work you're doing. Think differently. It's almost as if your guides are saying, this is not something that has ever been done before. And guess what? You are going to be the one to usher it in, group number one. That Knight of Swords is going to bring you the message, and you are going to, literally, it's going to balance the scales for you in your work. Some of you have been in work environments where everyone else is getting support but you. Everybody's program is getting funding but yours. But guess what, group number one, it is happening. Like, that whole scenario is changing around. You are starting to, your ideas are the spark of a new time, group number one. That is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Your ideas are for a new time, and guess what time it is? It's a new time. Wow. It's a new time, group number one. And it was almost as if, you know, like back in the day, nobody, you know, everybody wanted to, your fight with everyone to be supported, to be seen, to have your work recognized, to have justice. Wangari had to fight for everything. There were government officials. There were people who, rich people, people who did not want her work to succeed. And I feel like it's the same with you, group number one. You have a lot of people around you who didn't want to validate your work, didn't want to see you succeed. They thought that your ideas were too lofty. And guess what, group number one? They are now realizing that you are part of the new paradigm, that your work actually is what people want to see and want to support. And some of you are going to walk away. You've got this Eight of Cups. You're done. You're done being in environments, group number one, that don't see the power of the work that you're doing, that don't see you. Some of you are in environments that are you're very invisible, or you were, like maybe you decided to leave already. Some of you were invisible. You might be a woman of color. You might be non-binary. Whatever it was, you were invisible. Some of you were non-binary or trans. You were invisible to this system. And you realize that in order to really tap into whatever this inspiration is, it's going to give you the confidence to leave. If you haven't done it already, group number one. It's going to give you the confidence to leave. Let's go to, I'm trying to look for my other cards. What happened to my other deck? Okay, group number one. I just want to clarify a couple of things with another tarot deck before we get to the end of your reading. I think this is very, very positive. So, you know, to sum it up, what you need to let go of in this 2021 period as preparation for 2022, letting go, is quite literally any environment that does not support you, group number one. I'm getting that loud and clear. Environment, people who want to fight you, people who want to debate. Literally what you're doing, group number one, is not the ideals that you have, the values that you have, they're not up for debate. That's what I'm getting from your guys. Your guys are like, there's nothing to debate about this. It's almost like you want clean water for people. There's no debate. We all need clean water. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no debate. There's nothing to argue about. And I think that's what's starting to happen for you, group number one, is there's no debate around this. Clarify the Eight of Cups. Clarify the Eight of Cups for group number one. What else is group number one? Yeah, the Hierophant in reverse. You're not giving any more energy, group number one, to the system. You are not giving any more energy to the powers that be, to the systemic whatever. You're not even willing, you're ready to dethrone this energy, group number one. And I'm proud of you. Like, you're not going to sit there and listen. Like Wangari Maathai, she did not sit there and listen. I think there was even times where she might have been threatened, you know, and she didn't listen. And I think you need to understand, group number one, your guys are divinely protecting you. And also, we've got this Eight of Machetes. And you know what's interesting about the Eight of Swords in general is that sometimes you look at what's binding the figure. What's binding the figure is like loose rope. It's almost like you could stretch your arms and that rope would just fall to your ankles. And the swords that are around you are other people's thoughts, the anxiety of having to pay attention to other people's thoughts, other people's ramblings. It's almost like these people are just trying to create doubt, trying to contribute to more anxiety and confusion. And really, this Eight of Swords energy, you're releasing yourself from it, group number one. You're leaving it. You're not giving it your energy anymore. I think that you in 2022 are divinely choosing yourself, group number one. There you go. Queen of Brooms, Queen of Wands. Time to embrace and embody that Queen of Wands energy. Queen of Wands energy is a badass. This energy sits in its sexuality unapologetically, sits in its power unapologetically. The Queen of Wands energy had to work hard to get on that throne. Nothing was given to the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, I believe, and as out of all the royalty of the tarot, was the one that had to literally come up from nothing to sit on that throne. Had to literally reign herself, themselves, as the authority of their life. No one else did it. And there's something about their sexuality being entwined in that, which makes me think that some of you belong to the queer community, but not all of you. Some of you are feminists. Some of you are, looking towards your sexuality in a completely different way as an embodied person who manifests whatever they desire on this world, who uses their power for good. So group number one, wow, you are magnificent, and you come from a magnificent line of spirits, energies. At the bottom of the deck, that Four of Pentacles is there. You'll be able to have what you need materially to make your dreams come true. You'll be able, it won't feel like everything is like all over the place and chaotic as it did when you were actually working for someone. Like you would think when you work for someone, you would feel like stable and have the funds you need. And I think you're gonna realize the paradox is like when you work for yourself or strike out on your own, group number one, you're gonna feel that stability come through. And you're going to be, this is all the bottom of the deck, you're going to be celebrated, group number one. Celebrated because you took the steps, sometimes seemingly alone, but you have a whole community and team around you. And here we go. This is where I knew that she would come through, the Empress, because the Empress is coming through all around here. Mother Mary energy, fertility energy, the energy of the tree. So this is you, regardless of how you're showing up in this world, your Empress energy, abundance, prosperity, in the trees, for the earth, for the nurturing, the love of the earth. Wow, group number one, amazing, amazing. And so your last card, Spirit's closing message. Spirit's closing message for you, group number one. You're having a very powerful 2022. I could tell you that right now. And it's going to feel of your own making, even though you know deep down inside you have guides and community all around you supporting you, but it's going to feel like, and it's going to appear to others as if you just rose from the depths and took on everyone, took on the system. So look at that. Boundaries. That's Spirit's closing message. Like right now, you don't need to be everything for everyone. In fact, you need to clear your path. You need to clean house. Boundaries are going to help you. And all these people asking for stuff, not right now. You've got to clean everything of your own making. You have to clear up your space, group number one. You have to decide what it is you need to do in your next moves, and you will be there for folks. But for now, don't feel bad about creating some boundaries in order to figure out what this move might look like for yourself, in order to feel like what your inspiration is, group number one. So I'm really happy for you. 2022 promises to be what you really need in terms of your career year. For you all, group number one, this is a career year for you, that 222. So keep the focus, keep the spirit, keep the light. Thank you for joining me. If this resonates with you, please please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I look forward to reconnecting with you at some other time. Take care, group number one. Hello, group number two. How are you? This is Kamara. Thank you for joining me for this pick a card reading. We're going to go ahead and cleanse all of the decks. So we're going to do that for every group. And we have some Palo Santo resin that's happening here. This is more sustainable than the sticks. I'm just cleaning all of our tools as we get ready to get into this reading for you, group number two. How have you been? It's a powerful time right now. I feel like we're being prepared for something very powerful and great that will be happening in the coming news cycle. Sometimes we don't know what that is. We don't know what it will include. We don't know what our role will be in it, group number two. So hopefully this reading will bring some insight. Hopefully this reading will guide you in a way that feels like it's providing you with some clarity. Because, yeah, that's what we need, clarity in this life, right? Although I sense from you, group number two, that you have this really ancient divine energy that's showing up for you, and the divine feminine. Yes, group number 2. That divine feminine energy showing up as Sarah Bartlett. It's very powerful. It speaks to me, group number 2, of maybe a person who has had some struggle in their life, who's really had to deal with a lot around their self-image, who may not even traditionally fit the mold of the patriarchy of colonization. You may have unusual looks, and you're very beautiful though. People are attracted to your energy, and often they're not sure why, because of your uniqueness. And that uniqueness and that embodiment of beauty is because it's coming from a real grounded place of the divine feminine, regardless of how you walk in this world gender-wise. You have the mark. Wow, I'm getting this for some of you. You have the mark of the divine feminine. Some of you have a birthmark. And that birthmark is the mark of the divine feminine. It might have been a birthmark that you were made fun of, or some kind of something about you that people maybe in the past have ridiculed you, made fun of you about, bullied you about. But that thing, that unique thing, is part of your divine feminine gift. It is a mark. I don't know how I want to describe it. It's like the word is not gift, but it's like a mark of the divine feminine. That others in your ancestral line had that mark. Someone else did. So it says on the back, Rainbow Goddess. I am feminine sapopines, a spiral at my feet, a rose at my crown. I dance through the 7 gates and remove all the blocks. Now I am sovereign. I shine my radiant colors. I am the Rainbow Goddess. Wow. Wow, group number 2. Some of you are part of the queer community. I can tell that already. Rainbow Goddess. And others of you, the rainbow also is the bridge of the worlds, the bridge between the spirit world and the ancestral world. So take that as it resonates, group number 2. But your connection to the ancestral realm, the ancient ancestral realm, is the rainbow bridge, is the rainbow. And that can be through your sexual orientation or identity, or it could be that bridge, the powerful bridge that links our 2 worlds together, that makes that communication possible. So group number 2, that's also coming to me, that you are probably psychic, that you have some divine powers. Whether you realize it or not, they might be coming online for you at the end of 2021, going into 2022. You may be taking the rainbow bridge from 2021 to 2022 in terms of your abilities to communicate with the ancestral realm. Some of you might already be doing this work. You stand in the center of the spiral, group number 2. That is a gift of knowing how to ground and stay as a stabilizing force in chaos. A lot of people tell you, group number 2, that you are calm when emergencies happen. You are a person that people go to when there is something out of alignment. They know that they can trust your insight. You're very grounded. Some of you are it must have some kind of earth in your chart. If you don't, it's almost like you have, if you're part of Yoruba community or any of the traditional African religions, your energy is like connected to Oya, O-Y-A. There's something about Oya that is grounded even within the turbulence of the hurricane. Like there's like this way in which you dance with that kind of energy. You can dance with chaos where it doesn't take over you, group number 2. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. So let's get into Spirit's opening message for you. We're going to go through the oracle cards first, group number 2, and then we'll use the tarot cards to talk about what it is that you need to release. But the oracle cards are just a little bit of a setup to see how your spirit guides, Spirit is thinking about you, how your spirit guides are thinking about you, even your own divine inner wisdom. We will channel a little bit of that, and we'll get into the tarot to ask about what needs to be released. But let's go to Spirit's opening message. It looks like this card wants to come through. Emotions. Wow. That kind of fits, right? Group number 2, emotions. What we were just saying, like people feel like you are a stabilizing force in their life. That for some of you, you may be a counselor of some sort. You might be a therapist. People rely on you for emotional stability. Some of you might even be a healer, a doctor, a nurse. People rely on that way in which you are like a mountain. You are like a rock for them. And to be honest, that was the energy of the divine feminine back in the day. It was a pillar for people all over the world. So much so that around the world they found these little figurines that very much look like the Sarah Bartlett kind of body shape. And they all have little variations of them. And people would make these small little idols. It was almost like a picture book. Like, we have to take this, like, this is what our beliefs and our this is the Holy Mother that keeps us grounded. This is the energy that keeps us grounded. And so group number 2, there's something about these emotions. Spirit is bringing that up as if, yes, it's a gift to be able to do that for people. And also, like, how do you hold your own emotions? How do you stay in the center of your own peace? I think that some of you have that wisdom already, like you've learned how to do it. I'm hearing that some of you didn't always feel very grounded. Some of you might have suffered with a lot of intense anxiety, and maybe from time to time it still comes back. But what's interesting, group number 2, is I'm being shown that you learned how to use your resources. You learned how to use the tools that your guides and spirit gave you to start to master your emotions. I don't know if emotions always need to be mastered, but there's something about that word. They're showing me like you became masterful of the chaos. That's Oya again. O-Y-A, if you want to look her up. Yoruba deity. So mastering the emotions, mastering how you walk in this life, group number 2. You have Archangel Azrael, the angel of death and rebirth. transitions, life changes. So Azrael walks with you as well, group number 2. Because Azrael, for some of you, oh, I'm getting this, like some of you work with grief or loss or death. Maybe you're a hospice, like you work in hospice, or a nurse, or a doctor, or someone in hospice support. Wow, some of you might even work like a funeral home, I'm getting. Let me know in the comments if this is like resonating in group number 2. But some of you work around death and dying and rebirth. You may even be a death doula. You may be a doula for birth, and you do some spectrum work for women who okay, I don't know why I was called to get another angel wanted to come through too. So you got the Guru Ram Dass. Very interesting. They have Ram Dass in this deck. Humility, spiritual practice, elevation. So, you know, working with that Ram Dass energy too, whether, I don't know if this is like part of the figure Ram Dass, maybe it is. But, you know, Ram Dass, when you watch these really old lectures of his, there's something about his whole energy that is very light about himself. Like, he doesn't take himself too seriously, and there's always like this just insight that's happening as he's talking. Like, oh yeah, that was really what I was going through. And, you know, just someone with a lot of insight. And I think group number 2, that is like why that energy is coming up as a supporter of you. That Ram Dass energy is, it's like understanding yourself. This is how you stay grounded, group number 2, because you understand, I don't want to call them flaws. I think you just understand those edges where you're completely challenged sometimes. And in doing so, it's like you're able to stay present with yourself, group number 2. And you understand that that is how transformation happens. Whether or not you're part of the death and dying world, you understand deep transformation, group number 2. Because quite as it's kept, the goddess world is very much about the underworld, the unconscious, the dark, what is hidden, the mysteries. So group number 2, your energy, you could have Pluto in a very dynamic place in your chart. You could be very plutonic here. There's something about your emotions, they can go to the depths of darkness, but there's a way in which you still maintain lightness. You still maintain the ability to see everything with a little objectivity. Not necessarily all of it, but you're able to stay grounded in all of this movement. Do you see this card with Sarah Bartlett? It's almost as if there's just these spirals around her head, spirals at her feet. It's like all of this movement. In the beginning of the reading, I called it chaos. It could be chaos at times. It could just be a lot of fast things happening. Movement, that's what I hear. So group number 2, this is the power that I feel like for you that I'm tapping into, is that people rely on you because you take what you've experienced in life and you make use of it. You make use of all of your transformation and transmutation. You make use of everything that you see about yourself. Wow. And you got the color card here. You make use of the divine energy of you. You make use of all of who you are. And that color here, again, it's like the rainbow bridge. We can't keep repeating it, group number 2. It's like your rainbow bridge is showing up. And it is, let's go into your divine inner wisdom. What is your divine inner wisdom trying to communicate? So that rainbow bridge from 21 to 2022, which is, it's kind of like a marker when I use 2021 and 2022. This is not an exact like January 1st thing, because Spirit's time is way different than our time. But just the energy shifts that will be that are happening, will be happening as we move into a new cycle. It's not going to be lost on you, group number 2. You have something significant to contribute to everyone's journey. This is what I think I'm starting to figure out, is that you're playing, I heard the word playing, but I think you are, your role in all of this, the role you're playing in all of this is the stabilizing force, group number 2. Your psychic abilities, your, look at that. Divine intervention. Yep, that's what I got, group number 2, is that you are this authentic, because whenever we see like the nakedness holding up the earth as it heals itself, you are able to allow everyone to be in their authentic emotion. They don't need to hide from you. They don't need to be ashamed of expressing with you, because you're not ashamed in expressing who you are. In fact, your authenticity upholds the earth transition. I said transmission, but transition. It's like it's holding that transition. This is you, group number 2. Holding the earth in the spiral. Do you see all that movement again? This is like, we can't make it up, group number 2. It's like all of that movement, all of that swirling. You rise from the center and you hold the earth in pure stability. Wow. It says divine intervention, go with the flow. The universe supports you. Have faith in perfect timing. Look for synchronicity. Expect miracles. So group number 2, again, what I see here happening for you, and we will get into the tarot cards, is that you have some ability of stabilizing, of being a stabilizing force. I'm going to keep saying that. And it has to do with how you manage earth energies. And that's emotions, as well as just like who you are, your experiences. Let's get into the tarot. What is it that you need to release to make sure that you are staying in your divine mission? Because this is a superpower, group number 2. You most definitely have a superpower. And I'm honored to be reading for you, actually, because this is pretty deep. Your power is, it's like a force that we need in this life. So what is it that you need to just be aware of between now and this like huge message came out for you, group number 2. So let's take a look. What is it that you need to be aware of? And or what do you need to do? You're probably going to need to make some decisions about where you're going. And these decisions, group number 2, are going to be very rational. It's really weird because I feel like your energy is so intuitive, but there's a real rational grounding Queen of Swords force to it. It's like your head is above the clouds. Your arm is extended. Like, I want to know what would be the best for me. And the way that you welcome, it's like your arms extended in welcoming in the facts, welcoming in that rational thought. What works for me here? Queen of Pentacles is in reverse for you here. Seven of Wands upright. And we've got that Nine of Swords. I think all of this is past energy, group number 2, that you will be leaving behind, that you will be leaving up behind. When the Queen of Pentacles is in reverse, it's almost as if there's just constant worry about your stability, about your future, which is not in alignment with who you are, group number 2. So it's almost like you will be, these last 3 cards, it's like you are stopping, you've stopped fighting yourself. You've stopped ruminating and manifesting the opposite of what you just don't want. I feel like you're a big manifester. But you also got to understand what comes with that, group number 2. What comes with that is the ability to manifest anything that's on your mind. So you're starting to understand, like, hey, if I focus only on what's bringing me instability, what keeps me feeling like I need to defend myself all the time, you know, defensiveness and anxiety, those are the things that are coming towards me. And I get here, group number 2, that you need to release all of this. Like, you need to work on it in these last few weeks. You're letting it go. Literally, you're letting it go. You're just like, I can't do that because I need to embody this. Like, what is true, actually? That's what the Queen of Swords does. The Queen of Swords says, well, what's actually true? I might have all of these thoughts, but I need to leave that behind in service of, like, what is actually true for me? What is it that I really, what's really happening for me? Not what I think, not what my anxiety is telling me, not what my depression's telling me, what's actually happening. That Queen of Swords is coming in. That energy is coming in for you, group number 2, to save the day. Like, literally, there's something that snaps for you. Like, is this true? I mean, you start to have curiosity about your process and you understand. Yeah, look at that. The Nine of Swords again, but in reverse. So it's telling me, group number 2, that you're leaving behind this anxiety. You're done with it. There's no more. You don't need it anymore. You don't need, and look how this all lines up. I'm sorry if this is messy, you all, but there we go. This is how you used to think. This is how you think. This is how you used to be defending yourself. You're no longer doing it. Five of Swords in reverse. No more. It's like telling the story of your progression. It's like, oh, I used to stress out about that. This is how you used to be. Worried about money. Worried about your next, like, paycheck. This is who you are. The Magician. I didn't even set it up this way, group number 2. It just came out that way. It was like, let me show you. You're leaving it all behind, group number 2. No more worries about money because you're a manifester. No more fighting people about things, about who you are and what you're doing. You're not proving yourself to anyone anymore. You're done with the charades. Nothing's keeping you up at night. You're not worried about stuff. You're not letting your anxiety take control. You're utilizing your resources. You're done with this energy. So there you go. Literally, there you go, group number 2. That was the clarification. That was a good clarification. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about any of this. You're coming out of it. So that 2021, I think you're already, I think most of you have already started the process, or it is very close by. And let's see what Spirit's closing message is for you. Group number 2. Yeah, this is already handled. And again, I think it comes from using your divine inner resources, which is your wisdom, which is your ancestors, which is that rainbow bridge, bridging this world and the ancestral world, receiving that technology on that highway, going back and forth, getting grounded. We can't even make it up. We can't make it up. We can't wake it up. Look at that, group number 2. Getting grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. That nature is your rainbow bridge. That being out there, aligning in nature, keeping yourself centered in meditation, in presentness, in mindfulness, all of that, group number 2, is your superpower. It's weird. Other people are here to do brain surgery. You're here to align in peace. All of your systems. That's what you're going to offer back to the world. Amazing. Someone told you, group number 2, what is it I need to do? Do I need to write a book? Do I need to make this art piece? Do I need to... No, group number 2, you need to meditate. You need to keep yourself in the center of peace so that you can be the center of peace for others. There you go. I love it, group number 2. So if you resonate with this, any part of this reading, please leave it in the comments what you resonate with. And give it a like. If you like this reading and it resonates with you, your thumbs up would be appreciated. If you want to keep connected with me and on this channel, subscribe. And I look forward to continuing to connect with you, group number 2. I will be the recipient of this energy, of your stability. So I'm very grateful to you now, and I'm giving you thanks ahead of time. Take care. Hello, group number 3. How are you? We're going to go ahead and use some of the healing smoke here to cleanse the decks. I hope you're doing well. It's a very powerful time of the year. I feel for the end of 2021 more so than any other year. There's something about the end of this cycle that feels highly transformative, group number 3. Highly transformative. So what is your part in this transformation? What is this part that you are going to play? What is your role? What is your medicine that you're bringing forward? Group number 3. When I look at this, group number 3, your medicine is the change. Your medicine is to do with the healing of the shadow, the bringing forward of what has always been in the dark, what has always been secret. I hear the word secrets. This card, it's a woman, a mother, holding a child that isn't facing us. And there's 2 things I get from this. For some of you, there are issues with your mothering line, with your mothering energy. And for some of you, this is about how you mother your inner child. For many of you, this is about how you mother that inner child part of you that has been wounded, that has fears, but also that inner child that doesn't really get to be seen very often. It's very much, for some of you, tucked away. Others don't get to see that part of you. Let's read the back here. There's been some gems on the back of this, And the artist here, and I'm going to put her name in the description, is, I think it's Laetitia Casano. The writing is really small, and I'm already wearing my reading glasses, so that tells you something. So forgive me if I mispronounce the name, but I will put their information into the description. It says, forgiveness is freedom. Wow, group number 3. I've seen my mom in her weakness. I forgive her. I was so angry. She was also angry with herself, and she didn't know any other way. As the family unites around the rose, Angie, the angel, who was there all along, now becomes change. Very powerful, group number 3. Some of you may have lost a mother figure lately, or that mother figure that you have lost, if it hasn't been recently, is very much on your mind. It's an ancestor now. Something about the complexity of this relationship, the complexity of motherhood. And I also get, for a select few of you, this is also about the complexity of being a mother. We have, as a society, we have an image of what a mother needs to be. Who should be a mother? Who gets to be a mother? What does a mother have to act like? What does a mother have to look like? What is it that mothers need to do with their children or not do with their children? Who gets to be loved as the best mother, as the good mother? Who gets to be demonized as the bad mother? Some of you were not raised with your mothers. Did that make that mother a demon? Did that make that mother a bad mother? I think that is coming up for you, group number 3. This reading might be triggering for people who have mother issues. I'm going to say it right now. There seems to be something coming forward about the shadowing of the mother energy. Whether you're working on this shadow work around yourself as a mother and how you mother your inner child, or how you actually mother your actual children, or how you've been mothered in the past and how you need to remother yourself now. All of it's up. All of it's up for examination, group number 3. And, you know, if I'm doing this reading for you, know that that is also my issue. Know that too, group number 3. Like, only how do we say? Only those of us who have taken this medicine know the nature of its poison. Spirit's opening message for you, group number 3. Worlds within worlds. The golden crown. So you got 2 messages here from Spirit. Number 36 is worlds within worlds, and number 14 is the golden crown. So group number 3, I think Spirit would like for you to look at zooming out on this issue. Whatever this issue holds for you, whatever this change holds for you, there is a way in which there's no beginning and no end. This is what I'm hearing about this issue, group number 3. There's no beginning and end to it. That means that it's intergenerational. That means that the wounding did not start with you. And it's important to understand that the wounding did not start with you, group number 3. And the world within worlds, like when we are pregnant with people who are able to have children, when they are pregnant, their womb has already inherited the traits the materials, the behaviors of previous wombs. That's epigenetics. And so worlds within worlds, when beings who are able to have babies get pregnant, they have a world within their world happening, growing, developing. So this is saying to me, group number 3, to understand that trajectory, understand that these patterns, these family patterns did not begin with you, but they most certainly can end with you. They most certainly can benefit from your enlightenment. They can benefit from your evolution and your insight. Golden Crown is about the downloaded intelligence, ancestral intelligence that you will be and are constantly receiving, group number 3. The illumination. As you heal, things become illuminated. They emerge from the darkness into the light. So you see how these 2 cards, these 3 cards, are in contrast. Light is emerging. I think this is like the proper order here, to be honest. There is this darkness, right? The shadow. And it gets eclipsed. And it illuminates the wisdom. I'm going to leave it like that, because I think that's the order of how this is going. That's how Spirit is saying this change is going to happen for you, group number 3. It's been a hard road for many of you. You've had to parent yourself to the best of your abilities, but I don't think it was until maybe for some of you mid 2020, maybe some of you 2021, that you realized that you were parenting yourself. You were parenting yourself. You just didn't have any idea that was the process that you were going through. But I think many of you, as we head into the last part of this cycle, you're starting to understand what you've been doing all along. You've been reparenting yourself. Have you been doing it consciously? Maybe not so much. But Archangel Raquel is here for you. Raquel. Relationship healing. Calm. Harmony. So Archangel Raquel, or Rockwell, you see that they're wearing that yin yang. This is a guide for you. This is about balance. Oftentimes what happens to the mother energy that becomes overshadowed, that shrinks back into the darkness, it's because of patriarchy. It's because of invisibility. It's because of shrinking and never being able to live in full freedom and authenticity. So that Archangel Raquel, a number 8, which is 8 on its side is infinity, is showing that relationship healing, this energy can assist you with this relationship healing if you desire it. But I think for some of you, it's going to start with your relationship with your inner self, with your inner child. Even after all these years, some of us will realize, oh, I've been attempting to reparent myself and I haven't been doing that great of a job with it. And then that can increase our shame. So failed, quote unquote, failed motherhood, it embodies a lot of shame, group number 3. Whether that motherhood is how you parented yourself, how you're parenting your actual children, how you've been parented, it's time to heal that shame factor. And I think that that is what is being asked to be worked on before 2022, before the beginning of a new cycle, because I don't want to put like definitive dates on it. But as we enter into a new cycle, group number 3, That's the change. Healing that relationship, healing that wound. Now, what does that look like for you? It may look different for each and every person. It may look completely different. I cannot claim to have any kind of idea of what that will look like for you, group number 3. For some people, it may mean that they go to therapy. For other people, it may be going to a spiritual retreat of some sort or taking a spiritual journey. For other people, it might just mean writing a memoir. You know, like, we won't know. But that is for you and your spirit team and spirit guides to help you ground in, group number 3. You've got the grounding card. Again, look at all that light. Look at all the light coming through. Out of the darkness, out of like a world that needed healing, comes that tree. And that tree connects with the cosmic light. The tree to me is a symbol of our ancestors. So some of this work will definitely be ancestral for you. Group number 3. Some of you might do some deep ancestral work. Start up an ancestral altar and practice. Whatever it is, it's going to be something that keeps you grounded as you work. Shadow work is difficult. I don't know why there's people around here who's like, oh yeah, I've done that shadow work. I'm all like, wow, shadow work is like intense, and it feels very much like it's an ongoing process to me. Although there's some people who are like, yeah, I've done that. And I'm all like, wow, you know, okay. But shadow work can be very complex. It can be very difficult to change those patterns that you've been raised with, to change behaviors. Doing it all on your own could be very difficult. So group number 3, know when to ask for help. That's what I'm hearing from your guides. And use your guides, use your tools, use your resources. This is deep work, shadowy work. Some of you are dealing in the realm of secrets. I keep hearing that again. So let's see what your, oh, we forgot a few cards here. That's why nothing's coming forward. Let me shuffle this again. So this is your inner wisdom. Let's see what your inner wisdom guides want you to understand about what it is you need to release. Yeah, this is for you, group number 3. Very powerful healing is coming forward. Things that you didn't understand still needed healing coming forward for you. And what you're going to need for yourself is compassion, to be a witness for your process, to release emotions, to transmute the pain and the love, to seek help from others. So again, I'm hearing that, to keep an open heart. Look at that. Very powerful, group number 3. So this shadow work, it's a deep process for you. And if this doesn't resonate with you, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't been thinking at all about shadow work, then maybe this isn't the right group for you. But because I think that the people who really resonate with this group already know that the shadow work is coming. That they have to go into the depths of what they've been kind of hovering on the surface with. They've had a lot of indications. You all, whoever you are, group number 3, you've had a lot of indications lately that you can no longer skim the surface, that you need access to your emotions, you need the help of others to get to a place where deep healing happens. You need your ancestors, you need your support systems, you need your angel guides, your spirit team. Let's see what the tarot has to say about this. So I'm going to put these cards kind of to the side a little bit so that we can make room for the tarot. Yeah, group number 3, you are getting ready to participate in something that will have moments of very varied intensity. That's what I'm hearing. Like, I don't want to sugarcoat that for you. Like, there will be some intense moments, but your guides are telling me they're there for you. You've got a King of Cups here. When I talked about support, that King of Cups came through. So someone may have a father figure in their life. They may have a spouse that is a grounding force in their life. They may have a brother, an older brother is coming up specifically for some of you. An uncle. Someone, I'm hearing this is very specific, but for someone, this person, this King of Cups, knows the family history, knows what happened, can help you stay grounded because they're very clear on what it is that caused all of this shadow. This person holds the knowledge of that. Could be a grandfather. It's someone who just has been around and knows the story. You've got this Two of Swords. And also this Four of Pentacles in reverse. King of Pentacles. You're going to need to make a decision here, group number 3. And I think what's happening is this is around choosing yourself a little bit. Like, some of you are going to need to make a decision that might impact your finances. And I think I want to say this in a way that's it's not super serious, but it's going to require some financial sacrifice, which means that some of you may decide to go into some kind of treatment. Yeah. And when I say that, that means that you may end up having to spend more money on that. You know, like, you will need to make a financial sacrifice to make this healing happen. And this King of Pentacles in reverse is saying that, you know, it's a couple of things that come up for me. One is there may be somebody around you who doesn't support you making that financial sacrifice. Some of you may be partnered and your partner's like, I don't see the importance of you going to therapy or going to treatment. And they may be naysaying that, like spending the extra funds on that. But here's the other cards. The World comes up. The Knight of Wands comes through. What you're going to see is the closure. This work is going to benefit you in reaching the end of the cycle in wholeness, group number 3. It's going to be an investment that's worthwhile taking because you've got the World here. It's going to end that cycle. It's going to cause you to, it's going to help you to become a cycle breaker. And it's going to come in quickly. Don't worry about being in therapy for I don't know. Of course, I don't know this for sure, group number 3, but it's kind of signaling that you will come to some conclusions in a very powerful way that doesn't mean years of exploration. It's almost as if you've done so much of this exploration that when you get into therapy, things kind of click into place for you. That's what I'm hearing. Let's clarify. Let's clarify this, what we just read here. I want to clarify that. Is that all that you want to say about this Knight of Wands? The World here. What is this Two of Swords? Let's just go with the Two of Swords right now. Oh, okay. So we've got the Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah, there's something here where you're realizing that no matter how you try to nurture this relationship, for some of you, this is no matter how you try to heal this relationship with your inner child, it just doesn't really, when it's in reverse, it's just not happening. There's something that you're kind of needing support around that you're not kind of getting just in a cognitive way. You've read all the books, you've done all the workshops. It's kind of like you need to spend the money here. I'm kind of getting, it is spending the money, making the investment to get with an expert or someone who works in the field that can help you tease apart this like relationship, either with yourself or with your own actual mother. Group number 3. It's sounding like that's why that Two of Swords is coming up, because when you make that decision, it's going to be in service of clarity. And you know what? It's also saying here, group number 3, is that you have a 10 of Pentacles that comes up. I don't think that this financial sacrifice is going to be a long one. I think it's going to benefit you in the long run. It's going to help you, for some of you, it's going to help you to navigate life better so that you can get a better job, so that you can actually finish school, so that you can have better relationships that lead more to success. So you're going to see that it starts to become, your wishes are more fulfilled, group number 3, because you're able to navigate and ground in the world instead of feeling like a victim of it. And that's not to say that some real genuine horrible things might have happened to you. It's just to say that this investment that you make in yourself, it's going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck, you're thinking, oh, I need to leave. I need to always run away from my problems. No. You're going to see that as you go within, we've got the Hermit upright. As you go within, as you're able to learn those new skills to reflect on the past in a safe way that's not re-traumatizing, because I think that's the work you need to do. That's why you need to be with a quote-unquote expert, is you need to be with someone who can hold trauma in a trauma-informed way. And I think that when you do that, you're able to go within, you're able to learn how to trust your own inner wisdom. And that is going to illuminate the things that you need illuminated. The Hermit holds the light and shines it in again towards the dark. Look at that theme again, group number 3. The dark is being illuminated by the lamp of the Hermit. This is life-changing work that you're setting out to do, life-changing healing work that you're setting out to do, group number 3. And let's see what Spirit's closing message is here. I feel very positive about this work, and at the same time I can feel the energy of a little trepidation, like, should I do this? Is this the right time? This feels heavy. This feels very intense. And all I can say, group number 3, is that you are being shown that if there is any time for you to move forward with your healing process, it is this time. And look at that. Spirit's closing message. You are divinely protected, group number 3. Call back your power, cut the cords, do soul retrieval. So that's interesting, you all, because soul retrieval is actually a thing. So that might be the work that you are going to invest in. You may find some healer that does a specific kind of work that you need to pay for and or invest in, group number 3. And your guides are saying it's all protected. You're protected. If you move forward with this work, you are divinely protected and guided. Nothing that you cannot handle will be placed upon you, will be illuminated. Again, you see that eclipse happening here? You see that eclipse in this card? Again, the eclipse coming up. Worlds within worlds. You're healing generations with this work. And for some of you, this work will be life-changing, not only for you, but for your family. For generations. Whether or not you have children, group number 3, it will benefit cousins, it will benefit aunts, uncles, it will benefit people that even if you were adopted and you're not connected with them, your energy will reverberate throughout the bloodline by you taking this on, group number 3. Let me know if this resonates in the comments. It's like the journey that you have in front of you, group number 3, is one of your own choosing, and it's very powerful. But only you get to decide how you want to do this. Let the sound balance you and heal you. And pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to what Spirit is saying. And sit with yourself and decide about your own readiness, group number 3, for this work. But I believe you have it. You've got this. Okay, group number 3. If you resonated with this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. And I want to stay connected with you. I appreciate you stopping through. Take care. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Kali. So we're going to go ahead and cleanse the decks here with a little bit of sound. How have you been, group number 4? I'm glad you're joining me. I'm glad you're taking this time to tap into the wisdom, contribute your own wisdom and energy to this reading. I appreciate you being here. And yeah, you chose Kali. Very divine energy. Hindu goddess Kali. So, Kali, when I reflect on what I know about Kali, and I can't say I know everything about Kali, but I am intrigued with this key that's in by Kali's throat. I'm also intrigued by the goddess emblem that kind of is above her third eye, as well as there's like a crescent moon. So I think there's something there. It feels like a Hathor. You know what? I think this is actually Inyana or Ishtar. Kind of the names, they all kind of seem to like merge and change and transform as the years go by. So there's something there about the divine feminine for you, group number 4. But this key, I wonder what it's saying. Let me read the back. It says, unlocking my truth. Where there is the little key. What key? The one to shut your big mouth. This was supposed to be funny. We all laughed. The Kali in me screamed, this is not a joke. The Hecate in me whispered, take the key, it is yours. Even though the scars in my mouth, on my lips, took years to heal. Now I hold the little key. Now I have the key to my power. Now I allow myself to speak. Oh, well then that fits group number 4. You know, the key and the throat chakra, like being able to release your authentic voice. And behind that authentic voice is all of your authentic thoughts, right? All of your authentic wisdom. So there's something definitely here in that 2021, 2022 cycle, phase out, phase in, however we want to call it, that's happening for you, group number 4, regardless of your gender. Like this is like Kali is fierce energy. It's like tapping into fierce justice, fierce rage and love, how the two are intermingled, how the two can, that accountability, that fierceness ask for people to have, and at the same time, compassion. There's something about like being compassionate, but also being fiercely compassionate, like being able to like say no when you need no, saying yes when you mean yes, being able to hold boundaries for yourself. That's what I'm hearing a lot of too, group number 4. There's a way in which you've grown. Like the back of that card said, you've healed a lot of that. And I think in 2021, maybe the last couple of years, you've had to heal a lot around speaking your truth, group number 4. That's what I'm getting from the guides. And let's see what Spirit's opening message is for you. Woo! Celestial teacher. I think here, group number 4, the celestial teacher is you. We can only teach from our own experiences, so we can only bring people as far as we have gone. And in order to be a teacher, in order to hold that energy of being a teacher, you have to have been willing to do your own work, to be a great teacher, to be one that is remembered throughout the ages. I'm getting from Spirit that you are a celestial teacher, meaning that you have spent many lifetimes bestowing wisdom, onto people. I just had to burp at that moment, which is like a spiritual thing. It's telling me that that's truth. Like you've spent many lifetimes teaching and bestowing your wisdom. This lifetime is no different for you, group number 4. Maybe some of you are thinking that you need more experience to be a teacher. Maybe some of you are wondering if you're ready yet. I'm kind of hearing that too. Maybe there's some doubt there. No doubt, even though that's easier for me to say and maybe for you to do, but Spirit is saying, do not doubt that you are ready. Do not doubt that you hold the divine inner wisdom to start to teach others. Some of you are ready to step out of the assistant role, step out of the coordination role, step out of being the number 2 to being the number 1. Oh yeah. And your spirit team, ooh, Saint Bridget, passion, growth, fire. Ooh, Saint Bridget is showing up for you here. Saint Bridget is like, oh yeah. You have all of the alchemy that's necessary you've some of you embrace like fire energy, so you might be a fire sign or have some of that in your chart, but you are dealing with the passion of what your knowledge brings. Like your knowledge comes with passion. Your knowledge comes with action, group number 4. And Kali is like fire on fire. Kali is fire on fire. So group number 4, wow, you are a passionate person. What you believe in shines through. This is how you've grown so much, has to do with that key to unlocking your throat chakra. It's going to have you speaking around the world. It's going to have you speaking. Some of you are going to be speakers. You will be laying down your truth. Wow. Look at this. Create space, group number 4. You see how that fire is just like illuminating through the void. It almost looks like a yoni too. It's coming through. I want to put that just right under the key. It's weird. Like I just want to do that. Group number 4. That fire, that spark inside of you, you are going to take whatever that is that you have to tell the world, and it's going to put you in the position of being the celestial teacher. Your teachings, group number 4, will be remembered throughout the ages. I'm trying to think of, like, you know, teachers like that. The teacher that wrote The Art of War. the teacher who wrote the Tao Te Ching. Rumi, you know, like just teachers whose teachings are still being used today. Martin Luther King, like, you know, people's whose wisdom throughout the ages, there's not even a small child that does not know or has not heard a bit of their teachings or does not know who they are. Their wisdom is ageless, limitless. Let's see what your divine inner wisdom wants to share with you as well, group number 4. So you've got to know already, group number 4, that there's no getting off of this merry-go-round. There's no getting off of this. It's not necessarily a merry-go-round, but there's no getting off of this mechanism that you're on that's moving you forward in your purpose. I saw it as a merry-go-round. Some people may not find that like a powerful analogy, but I did. I saw it as something that's like whirling you forward. For some of you at the speed of light, like this is happening sooner than later. Like the minute that you unlock whatever that block is that's in that throat chakra, whatever, like, and some of you have already done this, so I'm not saying that if you've already done this, then cool. But if you are working on that, the minute that you do that, it releases everything. The floodgates open and you are set out to do the work you are set to do as a teacher. And if you are still in that process of opening up this energy, group number 4, some of you are, you're going to find your strength in the divine feminine. Some of you need to like research it more or dive into some of those practices. Maybe you need to get into a magical practice or some kind of meditation that focuses on the energies of Ishtar or Inanna or Hathor or Hecate. Oh, that's Hecate. There's actually practices that people do that are specific to these goddess energies. Non-attachment. This is the guidance from your divine inner wisdom, group number 4. So it says here, breathe. Allow the passage of time. Endings are new beginnings. Your spirit in human form. Do not cling to possessions. Move forward. So this non-attachment is what your inner wisdom is showing, group number 4, as a central piece to unlocking this throat chakra. I get it. Some of you have things to say that are, I wouldn't label them as controversial, but some people would. Some of you have been a part of institutions for a long time. If you are already a teacher, then what you are transitioning to is becoming a celestial teacher. The celestial teacher means that they teach on even those subjects that are taboo, that are often silenced. They teach on the books that have been banned and burned. You get what I'm saying, group number 4? So there's something about this non-attachment. The way I connect with it is that some of you are worried about speaking out against things because you wonder, will you jeopardize your career? Will you jeopardize your family's future if you don't have a job? You know, because you spoke out on this. Will you jeopardize your stability? I can't tell you what to do in that case, group number 4, except that your divine truth, your growth, your fire, this passion, I don't think is something that's going to be quelched. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be stuffed down. It can't be suppressed, group number 4. So what you're going to find is that I think for some of you, You've been experiencing this like lump in your throat. You've been experiencing this like, you know what that block feels like. It feels like you can't swallow. It feels like an aching. When the throat chakra is blocked, when passions are being suppressed, it's like there's a way in which you can't even give voice to your truths anymore. Some of you experience a lot of tears as a result of this. And the tears have nothing to do with sadness. The tears have to do with your passion being extinguished. Group number 4. Your passions being extinguished. That's where those tears are from. Woo! It's almost like Spirit is like, you're going to see a situation where if you don't speak now, forever hold your peace. And you know that won't happen. You've already seen that road, group number 4. You've seen the road of staying silent. It has done nothing for you. It has not gotten you any further. It has not made you more stable. You still feel unstable. You still feel as if your world can be rocked at any moment. And I think you're starting to understand, like, the sacrifice is not a sacrifice. The only sacrifice that's happening is that you're unable to become the Queen of Wands that you truly are. Group number 4. Woo! The Queen of Wands in reverse. Do you know what kind of energy the Queen of Wands holds? She holds the fire in her hand, the growth in her other hand, her sexuality at her feet. She has guarded, her throne is guarded by lions. Leo energy. Group number 4. When you get this in reverse, the Queen of Wands in reverse is unrealized passion. Bring her upright. Sit on your throne, group number 4. Unlock your wisdom. Allow it to pour out. Allow it to come forth. Allow yourself to be released. Let yourself be free. This is what I'm hearing. Oh goodness, that card has come up throughout all of the readings. That 6 of Swords is saying leave it. If you can't speak in this environment, if you always have to be small, if you always have to be silent, look at that. If you always have to be small, if you always have to be silent, this is not the place for you. And look what happens after you leave. Group number 4, the Sun. Your card comes forward. You are illuminated. You become the celestial teacher. You embody Kali. You are guided by the energy of Saint Bridget. There's nothing here that is, woo! There's nothing here that says watch out. Except watch out to your enemies. That's it. Whew. Yes. But in order to do all this, group number 4, you must become the Fool. You can't know everything about your future. You just have to know who you are as you move forward into that future. But you see how even in this version of the Fool is stepping out in the clear sun, the sun of the day. The Fool's journey starts in clarity. The Fool's journey is with the sun. The Fool has a flower growing from its hand. Again, the same hand in which the Queen of Wands staff is held. These two are, let me do this. The Queen of Wands and the Fool. This Queen of Wands was in reverse. This Queen of Wands becomes the Fool, utilizing the energy of the Sun. They become the Fool because they left the situation. And then they step into the Sun. They step into the light. They step into the light of their own wisdom. And they leave behind this King of Swords energy. And here, this is not a person necessarily. It could be. But that King of Swords energy, when it's in reverse, is the patriarchy, is the toxic masculinity, is the environments in where we're totally only relying upon the rational, the logical, the, like I said, the toxic masculine. So many of you will be leaving this. You'll be leaving. Oof, we can't even, the story gets better. Group number 4, you're leaving the Hierophant energy. These institutions, these traditions, these organizations, these systems left behind. You're no longer going to fight. You're no longer going to keep fighting people on what is right or wrong. You're not even going to be fighting for your voice anymore. You get to speak. You get to understand that who you are is worth defending. Your truth is worth your defense. Group number 4. That just all came out right then and there. And at the bottom of the deck, a King of Cups. King of Cups here, I'm really feeling these kings as energies of knowing truly who you are emotionally, and understanding that emotion, this fire that breathes within inside of you, your passion, it's part of you becoming emotionally mature. It's part of you turning this Queen of Wands upright into an energy that you can trust yourself. You are a fierce participant in your life. Group number 4. I couldn't even, we haven't even clarified yet with the other deck. I mean, you know, I'm gonna just ask for any clarification that needs to happen, although this seems very, very clear to me. Any other clarification that you have for group number 4? This is clear to me. Wow. Yeah. This 8 of Cups, it's in reverse, and I think it's just here reminding you that sometimes you're going to hesitate to leave everything that you've built. Maybe you've been with an institution for some number of years. But when the cups are upright in the 8 of Cups card, that means that you've put all this good work into something, and it's okay. It's at a good place to leave. It's at a good place to get your wishes fulfilled, because 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. So in order for wish fulfillment to happen, we have to give space for that wish to manifest, to come true. And so this, when it's in reverse, it's saying give your passion, give your fire a place to burn. It can't burn in places where you have no strength, where you're not allowed to speak your truth or to be in your own wisdom, where you're suppressed. You won't be able to burn your fire well. For some of you, this is the bottom of the deck. This is a relationship you're in. Uh-oh. Some of you, this is a relationship you're in that has not allowed you to be who you are at your most powerful, at your most fiercest, which makes sense for the divine feminine to come in and shake that up. Do we need to know more about this 2 of Cups? It could be a relationship that's intimate, but it also could just be a relationship with a boss. Because I think for some of you, this is a codependent relationship with a boss who's overbearing, who's narcissistic. Yeah, that boss is like a King of Pentacles. It has a lot of like, you know, wealth and has a lot of connections, and at the same time very narcissistic. Yeah. Doesn't really, kind of keeps dangling opportunity in front of you, but never helps you realize it either. That's specific for somebody. So let's see what you've got the deal here, group number 4. You know where you're going. Let's see what Spirit's closing message is for you. You know that you have to release yourself from this prison so that your fire, your passion, your wisdom can ignite, so that you can become this celestial teacher. This is the outcome. So your words can be, I'm hearing like your words will become part of that library. What's that library? The celestial library? Akashic records. Boundaries. That's what you need. I get for some of you, if that was a boss, you need boundaries, professional boundaries with this person. They tend to try to promise you stuff that they can't promise you as a professionally. Understand you are a starseed. Understand your purpose is bigger than anything that this boss can give you, than anything than this, like whatever that 2-cup relationship is, anything that that person promises you and says that they can give you once you do this, or if you don't say this, that's not the promise. Your promise, your success, group 4, your purpose and mission it's from the stars. It's from the cosmos. You are a celestial teacher. That means that your purpose has already been written. You already have the cosmic books inside of you. This is what I'm hearing. Like some of your wisdom is already in the Akashic records. Access those Akashic records. You will see books there written by you, group number 4. Woo! I just got that as a download for someone. You already have written the books. They will be retransmitted over to you once you allow yourself to be free, group number 4, of subjectivity, of oppression. Release yourself, free yourself, and all of this will be remembered by you, group number 4. All of it. This is the outcome. Okay, group number 4, if this resonates with you, please put something in the comments. I want to hear about this, how this resonates. I'm fascinated. And like this video if you resonate with it. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. And I look forward to staying in connection with you. Take care. Peace.